Hello, my name's Adam and I'm an educational psychologist working for Psychology Associates. I'm going to take some time now to think about some of the considerations for staff working with young children, thinking broadly and developmentally around Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 age range. Let's take some time now to think about 7 to 11-year-olds developing understanding and how this might shape how they make sense of the experiences of domestic abuse that they have been exposed to or living with. Firstly, children's understanding of cause and effect is developing at this age, and it means they tend to understand that actions have reasons and consequences. They can understand this over time, so for example, they would see that being upset today could be related to an event that happened yesterday. Children tend to organise their understanding around the concept of fairness or justice, so they might look at situations in terms of who started something. They're developing their early reasoning skills, and this tends to mean that children will start to understand rational explanations for events. They may believe and may be convinced by seemingly plausible rationalizations that are provided to them for events that they have witnessed or heard. Their understanding and explanations will likely miss the nuances of the situation or holes that might appear in their reasoning. Children have increased emotional understanding of themselves and others, and they're beginning to establish the conceptual understanding necessary to take another person's perspective in a situation. So they might start to connect with the feelings and emotions that others might be experiencing in terms of what they have witnessed. Children will also likely understand that an incident could happen again and that it could reoccur, and this will influence the worry and anxiety that they may have for themselves or their parent. Children have an understanding of their needs by this age, and also an understanding of how parents meet those needs. They may be fearful and concerned about the threat that the incident poses to this. Who will look after me, for example? There is also development of early moral reasoning at this age. It's fixed around black and white thinking, so focusing on what's right and what's wrong, and can often be linked to specific rules and laws. Let's take some time to consider some key principles in supporting children in school. It's important to remember that all children will respond differently and have different support needs. So these principles can be considered carefully with all adults supporting the child to collaboratively plan a nurturing and reassuring response. Firstly, we want to consider prioritising key relationships in school. These are key, trusted adults with whom the child has a positive relationship. We might need to provide additional connection time with these adults in school, and it might be beneficial to have these timetabled and structured so the child is reassured about the timings that these will happen. Opportunities to engage in playful and curious activities will be helpful for the child and non-threatening. We can also consider ways in which we can help the child feel connected to key adults throughout the day and held in mind. For example, making postcards for a parent in school, transitional objects between home and school, turn-taking activities with a trusted adult will all be beneficial. Secondly, we want to make sure there's a safe space in school that the child knows they can access and use as needed, either to regulate or just to engage when they're feeling calm, or perhaps want to spend time with a trusted adult. The child might want to be involved in developing and planning what this space looks like as well, to give them greater autonomy. We can share age-appropriate safety planning with the children as appropriate. So, for example, it might be helpful for the child to know where and who they will be picked up by and what that will look like. We also need to bear in mind that we should adapt academic expectations, and we might need to provide additional check-ins and learning support for the children. The tasks that children might have initially been able to do independently before might be more challenging now, as when we're in states of stress, our abilities to engage in independent learning are challenged. So it'll be important to provide additional check-ins, perhaps some adult turn-taking with learning tasks, and being mindful that they may struggle more with these tasks than usual. We want to look out for changes in behaviour and support these in a nurturing and responsive way. Children may become more dysregulated, and it's important that we have a plan of how we respond to these behaviours so as to avoid potential shame. This might be where the safe space comes into play, so that the child can be supported to access that and nurturing activities that might regulate them there. It will also be important to reaffirm and create new structures and routines. Adding predictability ensures safety for a young person so they're able to make sense of the day. We'll also want to consider allowing extra time to focus on the child's skills, interests and hobbies, so that they can engage in positive interactions which help to build positive narratives. Finally, when considering the child's understanding of the situations that have occurred, it's important that we meet the child where they're at with their understanding. That means that we're not interrogating or asking questions, we're just being curious and reassuring the child that we're available and present for them when they need. So this might involve accepting and helping the child to name how they feel, reassuring them that they're okay and that those feelings are okay. Addressing any issues of self-blame that the child raises or indicates this. Showing empathy and genuine emotion for the child. And providing clear communication about being available to listen, to talk, and to be present as the child needs you in school. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found some of the strategies and suggestions within the video helpful. You can find further information and support at the Operation Encompass website at www.operationencompass.org, and you can also find some useful resources on our website at Psychology Associates, www.psychologyassociates.org.uk. Thank you.